Hey guys, what's going on, and welcome back to a brand new video. And today we are going to be rebuilding Bayer Leverkusen, obviously a team that aren't doing the best in the Bundesliga at the moment. So I thought, let's have a little rebuild. We're obviously coming towards the end of Football Manager 2022, but there is still some content that I've got for you guys that you guys are going to love. So if you guys do enjoy the videos that I do post on this channel, be sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe, because trust me, as soon as Football Manager 2023 comes out, there's going to be almost daily uploads. So, when you take on the challenge at Bayer Leverkusen, the media only actually want you, or predict you, sorry, to finish around 4th. So, definitely not too bad in that terms of things at all. Obviously, I am confident we can do a little bit better than that. To be honest, I would like to finish in the top 3, possibly even second. I feel like the team that we have is very not comparable, but it could definitely battle against Dortmund, your Leipzigs, the top teams in the Bundesliga. Obviously, competing against Bayern is always going to be hard, and I think at the moment the squad's not quite there, but definitely over time I think we can get there. And this is going to be the team which actually we do get given right from the start. And do you know what? There are some really talented players in here. Obviously, we've got Heredecki in goal, Frimpong, Tapsoba and Tar, 2 fantastic potential centre-backs, literally given to you as soon as you do the rebuild. Baker or Bakker at left-back. You then got Kemabare in our midfield, next to Angruiz. Hudson-Odoi, obviously loanee. Depends on how he does, is whether we sign him or not. Wirtz, Diaby and Schrick, obviously one of my favourites when it comes to strikers on this game. Now, unfortunately, in the first season, although we did get given 6.8 million, we were unable to sign anyone because I didn't want to sign a person purely for the sake of it. And even with installments, we couldn't get anyone to join. So, unfortunately, this isn't the first time it's happened. We are going to be going into the first season without sort of a transfer window. But to be honest, the team that we just literally talked over is good enough to survive, not only survive the Bundesliga, but definitely compete for them sort of top 3, top 2 spaces. So let's get into the first season and see how we do. So, the first season has been simulated and we didn't win anything. I'm going to be honest, where you can see for yourselves here. But I am very impressed that we did manage to come second. Dortmund actually finishing in 5th place. Leipzig in 6th. It's going to be Hertha Berlin and Freiburg in them 3rd and 4th positions. Bayern Munich do win it quite comfortably in terms of goal difference as well as points. Unfortunately, to get knocked out in the second knockout round versus Villarreal, but they are a very good European side, Villarreal, as we've seen in real life. Very disappointing. The only big disappointment is going to be the Pokal, which we did actually get knocked out in the first round against 1860 München, or 1860 München, as I just said. So not very impressed with that side of things. In terms of stats, though, fairly what you'd expect for a second place finish. Second best at scoring with 77 and second best at conceding, only conceding 26. In terms of team stats then, we've got Holzek coming in with 25 goals, Schick coming in with 14 goals. You've got Hudson-Odoi, the loanee, coming in with 11 goals and 3 assists. So if we could afford him, we might bring him in dependent, but I have a feeling he is going to be quite costly. 9 goals coming in from Diaby, Angruiz coming in with 7, Wirtz coming in with 6 for Tapsoba and 4 for Tar. In terms of assists, we've got 13 coming in from Wirtz, 11 coming in for Angruiz, 8 coming in for Diaby. Any other big assisters? 8 coming in there for Amari and 7 coming in for Bakar, our left back. Now, and also don't leave this guy out, Frimpong. So our fullbacks do contribute quite a bit. The one thing, there doesn't seem to be enough goals coming from them 4 players. 25 goals isn't actually too bad. I was expecting a little bit more from Patrick Schick, to be honest with you, but 14 isn't horrific. But for me, he's at least a 20-25 season, goal season striker, which he hasn't delivered on in the first season. So I'm going to see who we can bring in. I am tempted to sort of bolster that attack if we can a little bit, because although we were second best at scoring, it still isn't a lot when you break it down in this screen. And going into what is going to be the second transfer window, obviously we weren't able to sign anyone in the first one because of our limited funds. In this one, we have actually been given nearly £52 million. So a lot of money to spend. Obviously, you can put some in installments as well. So we can sort of tweak the budget a little bit as and when we want to. So let's get into this second transfer window and see who we can bring in. So this is going to be the second transfer window, and there's been a lot of business. So you can see the players that went out. Bellarabi went out, Joshua Eze, Tushmunga, and Shawaran. I hope that's how you say that. A few on the free. I do always try and offer contracts to these players so they don't go on the free. But obviously, if they don't accept, they are going to get picked up. In terms of players that we brought in, we did spend a total of £69 million. So if you do the maths, we did go over slightly on the budget, but we have brought in some fantastic players. We managed to sign Oriel Jimenez, who I'm going to show you because I've never seen him before. He has just got so much good potential, and he was also on the free, so you can't really go wrong. He's not on the lot to have at the club either, and his potential looks amazing. So he is probably going to be playing in the under-21s because he's not quite ready for the first team, but definitely a player I'm excited to see how he develops. Now, the next player we bring in, someone that you guys probably would have heard of, is going to be Andre Frank Zambo Agusia from Napoli for £47 million, a fantastic midfield player. And then obviously Manchester United's current target, Cody Gakpo from PSV for £27.5 million. Now, this is the guy I'm on about. Obviously 15 years old, so nowhere near ready to play in the first team, but already his attributes look quite well, but it's the potential you're getting from him. His wage is £55, for God's sake. Basically nothing to have at the club, so definitely worth to get. And is already valued between 28 and £37 million. Now, the next player is going to be Agusia, obviously a fantastic player, so lively on the ball, only 26 years of age as well, so still quite young, got the potential to get to that 4-star ability, and hopefully can get into the team right off the bat. With these attributes, I don't see it being an issue. And the last player, a very exciting forward player, heavily linked with Manchester United, valued between 43 and £47 million, is going to be Cody Gakpo, 23 years of age, great dribbling, great long shots, everything about him is really good, reasonably quick as well. Obviously can grow a little bit, not too much. Is this guy one of the best wingers in the world? No. Is he a good backup or first team for this team? Yes. He will definitely get into the team, whether that be right from the rip or sort of as he goes along. But hopefully this guy can sort of grow a little bit under this club, and this guy can really take this league by storm. And this is going to be how the team looks then. So right off the bat, we're going to be seeing Agusia come in, Gakpo come in, and it's going to be the same 11 pretty much apart from them two. So luckily the two new men that do come into the team are going to be starting. So very excited to see that. Obviously the wonder kid that we sort of brought in isn't going to get into the team. He's going to be playing at a lower sort of level with the under 18s, under 21s to sort of grow himself at the club. But very happy with that window. And let's get into the second season and see how we do with the additions of these two players in this team. So the second season has been simulated, and finally, we've actually managed to win the Pokal. So a little bit of silverware coming to the club. We did actually also get to the semi-finals, which of the Champions League, that is not even Europa League, obviously, against Liverpool, who did knock us out, and we did lose the Super Cup. Second place again in the Bundesliga, so at least we're staying consistent. We're still not ready to win it, in my opinion. Possibly need 1 to 2 more transfer windows, but very happy with the fact that we were able to actually win a trophy in the second season and get all the way to the semi-finals in the Champions League. And obviously Liverpool are a fantastic team. The best scorer on goals, so that attack and signing, I imagine, did help quite a lot. And still the second best, so that's still quite a good record in my opinion, only conceding 30 in the entire season. In terms of player stats then, again, it's a similar story. There's going to be Holzek actually getting the top goal scorer, 24 goals, Schick coming in with 19 goals, Diaby coming in with 14, Wirtz coming in with 13 as well, Tapsoba coming in with 13, 9 for Tar, Gakpo actually having a reasonably quiet season, 8 assists and 8 goals, 7 goals for Angruiz. In terms of assists, obviously we got 10 coming in here. Any other big assisters down here, don't want to miss them out. We've got 9 coming in from Frimpong, the left back as well, coming in with 6. 7 coming in for Angusia, our new midfield player. Demabre coming in with 10. 11 for Angruiz, as we said. 8 for Gakpo. It's not a great season, but it is his first season in this division, so a little bit flexible with that. 7 assists coming in for Wirtz. 12 coming in for Diaby, incredible. And 11 coming in for Holzek. Holzek by far, probably, or not probably, is our best player at the moment. So very happy with how he's been performing. Schick, I just want to see a little bit more because I've used this guy a lot in this game and he is phenomenal. I'd like to see a 20 plus goal season from him, and he's capable. He's a fantastic player, so hopefully next season he can deliver on that. But we have also been given, going into what is going to be the third transfer window, £70 million. So a lot of money to spend, and we can definitely strengthen this team with that amount. Obviously, I always say this, 70 million is a lot of money already, but you can obviously do installments. So realistically, you could spend upwards of 100 million easily with that budget. So let's get into the third transfer window and see who we can bring in to strengthen this team. Now, before we do get into the third transfer window, guys, if you are enjoying this video so far, please do leave a like on the video below and be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's completely free, and if you guys never want to miss an upload again, be sure to hit the little bell. This way you're going to get notified when I upload, when I live stream, which is going to be a lot of live streams in the next Football Manager 2023, and also when I do a community post. They're great ways to get involved in the channel, and it really is a good way for you guys to get involved in the content that does get produced on this channel. But now, this is where we get into the third transfer window. Now, the two players that I decided to bring in, I needed a goalkeeper because Hradecky is good, but he's just getting a little bit on the older side. I saw Bilal come in from Feyenoord. He wanted to leave anyway. He cost us 40 million, which is a reasonable amount of money to be spending. But at the end of the day, he is a fantastic goalkeeper, one of the best goalkeepers in terms of potential on this game. So I thought, you know what, let's get him in. It's not a ridiculous fee to pay. It does seem a lot, but to be honest, goalkeepers are expensive in this day and age. And the next player we got is a player who I think is still somewhat underrated at Liverpool. I really rate this guy. I'm even more on Football Manager because he can play on pretty much the left side, the striker position, and I believe the right side. That is going to be Diogo Jota. And he did cost quite a bit, £63 million. Obviously, he's not on the older side in terms of close to retirement, but he is not exactly a young player. But you are signing a Premier League proven player, which is obviously a higher standard compared to the Bundesliga. So this guy has played at the top of the game, and I think that he can definitely transfer that over easily coming into the Bundesliga. And this is going to be the goalkeeper then. So valued a little bit more than what we paid for him, and already nearly a 4-star ability goalkeeper. 25 years of age, 6'2", fantastic attributes, and will easily get into the first team. And also means that we can look to unload Andre Lenev, who obviously isn't going to be needed now, because we're going to keep Hradecky as backup because he's a fantastic keeper. But it's just he was getting a little bit older, and I wanted to bring in a younger goalkeeper. And now this player here, only 26, so not too old, but as I said, left side striker and right side. He covers 3 positions, will definitely get into the team, and his attributes are fantastic. Great flair, great determination, great dribbling, great finishing, reasonably quick as well. And the beautiful thing about it is these stats are all very useful in all the positions. So obviously, even if you play him on the wing, you're going to have a winger that has still got fantastic finishing ability. He can easily play up top as well, and it is just a very good player to have. Not when I say a squad player, I don't mean a player to have on the bench, but he can cover 3 positions. So if anyone does get injured, this guy can be there, and he's still got a good 5 or 6 years in him before you even see any sort of decline. And this is going to be how the team looks. So it is going to be Holzek going up front when I filter my best 11. Obviously, Schick hasn't been the best that he can be. So it is going to be Holzek, Jota, Wirtz, Diaby, Angucia, Palacios, Baka, Tar, Tapsoba, Frimpong, and Bilal. So a very, very good team. And this team now, in my opinion, is able to compete for this Bundesliga title and really push Bayern to the max, because I think we've got some fantastic players in there. This attack is very, very lively with the addition of Jota, and also the bench is obviously naturally going to improve because we are bringing in better players. You're going to have Gakpo, you've got Fosu Mensah, who we've not even discussed, Angruiz, Schrick on the bench, some absolute outrageous players on the bench as well, and I'm really confident going into this third season. So let's get into this third season, and hopefully we can become the Bundesliga champions. So the first season has been simulated, and unfortunately we are not the Bundesliga champions, but we have won another trophy. That is going to be the Super Cup against Bayern this time. We got knocked out in the Pokal versus Bayern, so sort of 1-1 on that, or 2-1, because they did win the Bundesliga as well. But this time, the gap is a lot closer, and it was literally 3 points, and they beat us head-to-head. So if we would have won that game, and they would have slipped up, because obviously they still would have won on goal difference, it could have been different. So we are so close to winning this Bundesliga title. And again, getting to the semi-finals of the Champions League. And if my memory is right, We get knocked out again against Liverpool in the semi-final. So still putting on a great display in the Champions League. We're now the best again at scoring goals, 112 goals this time. Goals conceded, the second best, conceding 32. So do we bring in defenders in the next transfer window? That is something to think about. In terms of player stats then, this is a lot better now. We're going to be seeing 30 goals from Schick. He obviously has just completely turned it around. 20 goals coming in from Diaby, 20 from Holzek, 19 for Diego Jota with 21 assists. That is why I got him in the team. 18 goals coming in for Tapsoba, 16 coming in for Wirtz, 10 coming in for Angruiz, 8 coming in for Palacios, Gakpo coming in with 7. In terms of assists, we've got 12 coming in for Frimpong, 12 coming in for Bakir, 10 coming in for Palacios, 6 coming in for Angruiz, Wirtz coming in with 30 assists in a season and 16 goals. Outrageous from him. 21 for Jota, 10 for Holzek, and 5 and 5 for Diaby and Schick. So what we're seeing now is a lot more players getting involved in the goal scoring. We're going to have, 1, 2, 3, nearly 4 players, 3 of them 20 goals and above. And then we've got 1, 2, 3 with 15 goals and above. And then a couple getting on for 10 as well. So we're seeing a lot more goals being scored. So that tells me now that the upper end of the pitch is pretty much done. Obviously, if we can, sign some type of a miracle player that can really transform, I will do that. But for me now, I might turn to sort of strengthening up that midfield a little bit. Possibly partner, I forgot his name now. Partner, come on. Where is he? My memory is awful today. Where has he gone? Angucia, partner Angucia with someone better than who he's currently playing along, or possibly strengthen the fullbacks a little bit. But that is the plan that I've got, and to hopefully conquer that plan, we have been given £74 million to spend. So again, this could easily be a 100 mil plus transfer window that you are going to be seeing. And we also could sell some players if we do decide to replace the current players that we do have. So let's get into this fourth transfer window and see who we can bring in. So, the fourth transfer window, and we have spent way above what I thought. We used the add-ons to the max. I'm going to be honest, the finances were heavily in our favour. So I thought, let's go all in out and let's go for this. So, we brought in Nuno Mendes from Bayern for £70 million, Makoko from Borussia Dortmund for £125 million, and Camavinga from Real Madrid for £63 million. Now, the first player, we are going to be very familiar with him. That is going to be Nuno Mendes. Obviously, a great fullback, great potential on him. Currently was at Bayern, so we've also weakened Bayern a little bit there. Very, very rapid at left back as well. Only 22 years of age, so got tons of potential, tons of improvement, and it's a little bit of an upgrade on our current fullback, which is going to be Bakir, who also hasn't got the potential that this guy does have. We then go on to Makoko, who is, in my opinion, the sort of go-to striker on this game. If you want a striker that is going to guarantee you goals, guarantee you success, you go to this guy. He's absolutely broken. In my opinion, this guy is fantastic in real life, but he is slightly made too good on this game. He is fantastic in real life, but I just think like this guy is almost as good as Haaland on this game. So in my opinion, next Football Manager, he might need to be pulled in a little bit. But still, for me in this save, it's going to be perfect. It's got 18 pace, 18 acceleration, 18 agility, 16 balance, 17 finishing at the age of 19, by the way. This guy has literally got over 10 years easily. He's sort of got 12, 13 years in him before he gets what you call old in football. And it's a go-to option. I mean, if you've got the money to sign Makoko, you sign Makoko. We then go over and sign Camavinga, one of my favourite midfield players to sign in any rebuild I do, because I just love how he plays in midfield. He's still young, 21 years of age. Great potential, and he has got competition, because at the moment, he's technically not better than Palacios, but I am going to try and get him into the team, because obviously, it's got the potential to easily outgrow Palacios, and also it's a little bit more agile on the ball, and in my opinion, it's a little bit of a better fit for this team. And this is going to be how the team does look. So I do fit with my best 11. And as I did say, this might be an issue because Palacios does still sort of, get in the team ahead of Camavinga. But we have now got Bilal, Frimpong, Tapsoba, Tar, Mendes. What a backline that is. Angucia, Palacios, Holzek, Wirtz, Diego Jota, and Moukoko. That is an absolutely outrageous attack. You've got, I mean, the options are endless now. We look to the bench. We've got Diaby, Schick. We've got Camavinga that can come on. We've got Gakpo. We've got Angruiz. We've got so many fantastic players. And this is now going to get to the point now. We've had 4 transfer windows. So if we don't start winning the Bundesliga title, I'm going to start questioning myself, because I brought in the right players. I know I have. I brought in fantastic players that suit the system very well. So let's get into the fourth season. We're not doing another transfer window just yet. Let's get into the 4th season and see how we do. And hopefully we can finally win the German title. And that is what we've done, but we actually went above and beyond that. We managed to win the Bundesliga comfortably, actually with a 12-point advantage over Bayern. We also won the Champions League versus Liverpool, finally getting one up on them, and even better because it is in the final. And also on the Super Cup versus Bayern. So 3 trophies in the 4th season of this rebuild. 133 goals scored and only 24 conceded. And this is why you sign Moukoko. This is exactly why you sign him. 67 goals in his first season. Obviously, he was playing in the Bundesliga, so the transition isn't too much of an ask. But 67 goals is absolutely nuts. 26 for Holzek, 23 for Jota, taps over one of the highest scoring centre-backs I think I've ever seen. 23 from him, 13 for Wirtz, Diaby coming in with 10, 7 for Angucia. In terms of assists, we've got 15 coming in from Holzek, 13 for Jota, 39 for Wirtz this time, nearly hitting 40 assists. Absolutely nuts from him. 9 for Angucia, 10 coming in for Camavinga, 14 coming in for Mendes, and 17 actually coming in from Frimpong. So the fullbacks having an absolute blistering time on the wing, or on the wing sort of fullback positions. Nearly Wirtz, in my opinion. I mean, Moukoko obviously does pick up the highest match rating because he has scored 67 goals, right? But Wirtz, 39 assists and 13 goals. Absolutely nuts. And going into what is going to be the last transfer window, which is going to be the 5th transfer window, we have been given £83 million. So again, the budget you get with this team is very, very good. Probably one of the most funnest rebuilds I've done, because they already had a decent side, but they just needed that little bit of an extra push, because at the moment in real life, they are struggling. And I just thought, do you know what? I like rebuilding teams in Germany, so let's go with Leverkusen. And that is what we obviously decided to do for this video. But let's get into the 5th transfer window and see who we can bring in. And hopefully, whoever we bring in can help us maintain the Bundesliga title going into the 5th transfer. Again, I've done it. The 5th season, not the 5th transfer window. So, the 5th transfer window. This is going to be a very unique one because, again, a lot of money has been spent, but we have brought in one of the best free agents I think I've ever signed. That is going to be Alisson. Liverpool goalkeeper Alisson. Not any old Alisson. Liverpool Alisson. Now, how he was on the free, I do not know. Obviously, contract negotiations, no idea. But we picked him up on the free, and to be honest, we necessarily didn't even need him. But to have a goalkeeper that good, he is 32, but that's not that bad for a goalkeeper. To have him on the free, you can't really say no. We also signed Zabrani from Dynamo Kiev for 42 million, and Gabriel Martinelli, one of my favourite players to watch in the Premier League, one of the hottest prospects in world football, in my opinion, £125 million. So, Alisson, we all know him. I mean, the guy's value between 73 and 87 million, so this wouldn't be bad business if I literally got him and then sold him. But he will start. I mean, he's literally nearly 5-star ability. Everything about him is absolutely world class. You can't really hate him. In terms of Zabrani, he is going to be potentially first team, if not back up to Tar in that centre-back position, depending on how it filters it. But this guy, again, is a fantastic centre-back, only 22 years of age as well. Fantastic pace, reasonably good at, very good at tackling, actually, with 15. Good teamwork in him as well, and 6'2". And being 22 as well, it's a centre-back you're going to have for sort of 10 seasons. So, in my opinion, at that price, it was a bit of a steal. Obviously, valued a lot more than what we paid for him. And we needed a backup centre-back, as we are sort of losing them through them getting old, them moving, etc., etc. So I thought, do you know what? Let's bring in this guy. And the last player is going to be... It was a last-minute option, I'm going to be honest. It was sort of like, I wanted to get him. He cost a ridiculous amount, and I thought, do I sign him? Do I? Yeah, why not? Let's just get him in. He's valued nearly at 275 million, between 248 and 271 million pounds. This guy is actually valued at in this game. Obviously, ridiculous stats, fantastic finishing, very good pace, very good acceleration, amazing determination, flair, good off the ball, good teamwork, good dribbling, great first touch. But what you're paying for here, what you're paying for is a player that is proven himself in the Premier League. You're paying for the fact that he's 24, so he's still young, got tons of potential as well. That's three things you're paying for. You're also paying, you're paying for, like, you are paying majority for the potential. Obviously, we know what this guy can do. So for me, it was a big price tag, but I fully back him. I think this guy can light up the Bundesliga. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit less demanding than playing in the Premier League, and it's going to be very interesting to see where he fits into this team. And this is now going to be how he does fit into the team. And if this isn't one of the best front fours you've ever seen, I don't know what you guys are on, because that is outrageous. We've now got Alisson, Frimpong, Zabrani, Tapsoba, Mendes, Camavinga, Angucia, Jota, Wirtz, Martinelli, and Makoko. That 11 is easily good enough to win the Bundesliga, and the bench now looks absolutely nuts. Bilal, Baka, Diaby, Holzek, Tar, Palacios, Schick, Insapi, Gakpo, Amazon, Kasanu, Andrich, Fosu Mensah, Adli, Hideki sit in the reserves as well, and I'm super confident with this team. I think this rebuild has gone absolutely flawlessly. We've kept some of the players in, obviously the likes of Tapsoba, Frimpong, Wirtz as well, and also a lot of players on the bench, obviously still at the club and still do play. But I'm really excited to get into this last season. It's going to be the 5th season, and let's see if we can maintain that Bundesliga title. So the last season is literally the flawless season. We've managed to win 5 trophies. We've won everything. Absolutely everything we played in, we have won. The Bundesliga comfortably over Bayern, the Champions League versus PSG, the Pokal versus Gladbach, the Super Cup versus Dortmund, and the UEFA Super Cup versus PSG. 5 trophies in one season. 112 goals scored in the Bundesliga and 23 conceded. In terms of player stats, 63 again from Makoko. I mean, it's expected at this point. 25 goals from Holzek, 20 from Jota, 18 for Wirtz, Tapsoba again with another plus 10 goals, 12 goals from him, 11 for Diaby, 7 for Schick. Martinelli having quite a quiet season actually, which does surprise me a little bit gutted, but if I was going to carry on this save, obviously I would expect him to get better and better and better. In terms of assists, we've got 9 coming in from Makoko, 14 for Holzek, 12 for Jota, 36 again for Wirtz, probably the best midfield player I've used in a long time. 11 coming in for Camavinga, 16 coming in for Mendes, and 15 coming in for Jeremy Frimpong. So again, very, very good in terms of goal scorers. We've got quite a few high goal scorers in this team now. And if you look at the team, if you go all the way back to the start, you look at the team that we first had, the team we've got now, I think it's pretty fair to say this rebuild has gone absolutely flawlessly. The only signing, which, you know, possibly, I mean, he was on the free, but that wonder kid who I signed didn't really turn out to be anything special. I did check on him, but he was never really good enough to get into the first team. But in my opinion, possibly Gakpo as well didn't really get to the level I wanted him to. But other than that, I mean, everyone has been absolutely amazing. And if we were going to carry on, we would have been given 97 million. So we could have easily strengthened this team again if we wanted to. But this is my favourite part of the video because we get to go over what we've done in 5 seasons. In 2022 season, we were the runners-up in the Super Cup. 2023 season, DFB Pokal winners, DFL Super Cup winners. 2024 season, the Super Cup winners again. 2025, the big season, the Bundesliga champions, Champions League winners, DFL Super Cup winners, and the UEFA Super Cup winners. 2026 season, Bundesliga champions, Pokal winners, and Champions League winners. So won pretty much everything that we can win. Absolutely so buzzing with how this rebuild has actually gone. But that is going to be it for today, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed this rebuild. If you have, then please do leave a like on this video and be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel for more Football Manager content. There is going to be a bit more coming out. Obviously, I am preparing for the next game that is going to be coming out. So any suggestions you want to see, get below right now and comment. Tactics, rebuilds, anything. Comment comment a team, comment a manager, and I promise you will see it. It might be in this game, it might be in Football Manager 2023. I promise I will recreate any manager you want, rebuild any team you want, because I love listening to your guys' comments. But that is going to be it for me today, guys, and I will see you in the next one.